Hello, this is my newest release called Rubik Visual. What's so crazy about it and also cool about it? I'm going to show you what it looks like right now. Watch the blue here. That's what it looks like. So let's get to the intro. So the history of this trick is that I've been playing around with some solves, and eventually I just came up for a fact where you actually solve two phases, and the middle layer is like unsolved, and then as you go up it seems to be solved, or as a to cover the action is that motion. So that was after I saw Crazy Sam's solve, and you can legitimately show them the cube is mixed. And I do actually recommend you use a speed cube because it has a round corner like this, and the algorithms are really easy, but once you got the muscle memory down, then this will be no problem for you. And then I played around with a lot of ideas, and I came up for a fact where it looked like what you saw in the performance, really nice and visual. So yeah, I'm gonna be teaching you this only one solve that I came up with. Don't worry, I'm coming up with more, but here it is. This is going to be broken into segments, by the way. So let's get into the main tutorial. So what you gotta know are algorithms. If we're doing U, that means it's right here. This is an overview of the algorithms. If it's L, it's clockwise. If it's L prime, you're going to do counterclockwise. If it's R, you're doing it clockwise, pardon. And if you're doing a counter, that's an R prime. And we won't be utilizing the back, we won't be utilizing the middle, we'll only be utilizing the middle of here. So, what do we do exactly? So, before we do anything, you gotta pick a color to your liking. So, let's say you chose blue. Here's the mix for the section that you're going to be doing. So algorithm is U prime, D, and I do that with my ring finger. Or you guys can at home can do it like this. Then R, and then instead of using this for a U move, we're going to be using these two as a U move. So I would say a double U, R prime, then remember we're using these two blocks to do a U prime move, and then you're going to do the final move, a D move. So that is the mix. Let me show you it from another angle. So from another angle, it would look like this. So I'm going to choose this to my liking, and whichever color you chose is going to be facing up the ceiling. So once again, U prime, D, and you gotta be familiar with these algorithms. Then R, and like I said, remember, using these two blocks to do a U and U prime move within the mix. So I'll call this a W, then normal R, then a double U prime. And then finally, with my ring finger, over here I do a D move. And then that sets you up for the first revelation. So now that you know the mix, let's get into the first revelation. But before we go to the revelation, let's actually do it one more time in slow motion, and then I'll show you what it looks like in real speed. So U prime, oops, D, and I'm using my ring finger for that. R, double U-turn, R prime, double U prime, and with your ring finger, D. Now, if you're a righty, mirror everything that I'm doing. Now, up to speed, it should look like this. So up to real speed, it should look like this. Then there you go. That is a mix. Let's get into the first revelation of this trick. So you can show them that's mixed everywhere, except that mix actually makes it to where this is almost solved. So make sure when you're actually performing this is that the blue that you chose to your very liking is facing towards your audience. And you're going to tell them to watch the blue. Now, there's two blues here, and you're going to use your ring finger and turn it so that it subs for the first blue that's on the cube. So this wrist action also helps preventing you from flashing this. So here, I like to do this wrist action. And as you come back leftward, that's when your ring finger turns this around. And when done quickly, it's really convincing. And it is really visual. One more time, slow motion. It's a little bit hard to do slowly, but here, then you just go like that. Up to speed, it'll look like this. That was the slow motion breakdown. In real speed, you should be seamless. And then just try to square it up as best as you can. Let's see that in different angles just for you to get a great understanding. So we have it in this right here. And I'm going to expose this. Obviously, there's one blue, and here's two blues. And pay attention to what my ring finger is doing. Make sure to go rightward for those of you who are left-handed people. And as you come, see how my ring finger is doing all the work right here? And it subs for the one blue. That gets you the result for this. That's the end result. Let's see it in a different angle. So another angle for this is you're going to show it right here. There's two blues, and you're going to use it to sub for the first blue, and then with your ring finger, it's going to go here, and try your best to line it up as you can. I'm trying to go slow motion, and up to speed looks like this. Most of the times it'll actually line up. So this is the first revelation, and that is the explanation for the first revelation. Now that you learned the first revelation, which is here, then here, now it's time to ditch the blue right here, Because if you tilt over here, they're gonna see that blue. So what you're going to do is with your ring finger is you're going to perform some D moves, and from here, one, if you do it with your right hand, it'll just be once, but make sure, just be aware that these two blues right here are facing towards you. So you only have to do it once if you're doing it counterclockwise. And then that sets you up. You're going to turn it end for end. You're going to blow on it, and at the same time, you're going to blow. Like, I'm doing it in slow motion. So then as you do it, see how it line up? If you do it real fast, it kind of looks a little bit magical. However, most of the times it won't be able to line up, so you can probably add a shaking motion to it. And let's take you to the other side angles, so you know what's happening. So this is what it looks like in slow motion. The three blues, remember, are facing towards you. Okay? You're going to show them this. You can do the same action like you did the first revelation. Then as you do it, then turn it like that. So another time, slow motion. Obviously, you guys won't be doing it this slow. I'm going slow just for tutorial purposes. Here. And up to speed looks like this. It looks ridiculously visual. Obviously, I'm gonna provide you some tips on how to make it look great. From a different angle, this is what it looks like. So, three blues are towards you, and this is towards the spectator. So you can do the wrist action, and then as you come here, you're going to use your index finger to actually turn everything here. Then as you come here, going to turn that around. And then one more time up to speed. It looks just like that. Ridiculously visual. Alright. Now let's move on to the final revelation. So now that you've done the first revelation and the second revelation, now it's time for the third and final revelation, which is this. Which is this right here. Now you probably know how it's done. Now the grip for this is really easy. You can either use any finger to your liking of your hand, except your pinky won't work for this. You can either choose your index, middle, or ring finger, and your thumb. Usually I like to use either my index and thumb or middle and thumb. You're gonna mirror the exact same thing, middle and thumb. Except the thing is, with this one, you're using your middle finger, so move on to your ring finger. And it's going to contact this part of the cube. And I'm going in slow motion, but this is what's happening. You're going to turn this as you come up. Now, how do we hide the action that you're doing this? Like this action. A few things you can do is, first you're going to angle it down, then do that. Or what I've discovered is that you can do a body turn. You can turn your body from left to right or right to left. So here, and it's solved. So once again, from an exposed view, here, as you come up, wait, wrong one. As you come up, that gets turned up and here, and place it on the table if you want to. Now for the one where you're rotating your body from here to here, as you turn midway, here, then you can drop it. Slow motion again. Here, and then just let go from there. Up to speed should look like this. But obviously, in performance speed, you are actually going to perform it better. Speed is like right here. And the thing is, if it's not squared up perfectly, then you can just toss it to the table or whatever. If it's a carpet, then you can do the move and then roll it on the carpet if you want to. Then roll it to the carpet if you want to. It's off camera. Now let me run you through every single thing you need to know. And I have an application for you that I've been really working on, and it's a double change. Really great eye candy for the middle layer. And it's essentially the same thing, except pretty much turning this twice. So now here's one last application. So instead of a U prime move, you're going to do a U2 move. If you don't know what that is, it's U2. And then you're going to do D2. And then do the scramble, R. And by the way, I'm using the white one just for this tutorial purpose. Then you're going to do U, R prime, U prime. Well, with the double, remember? Double. And then from here, wait, I think I messed it up. So that's why R, U, R prime, U prime, and then D. So after the first revelation, you ditch that color, remember? And the second, you're going to say, watch this, as I blow. I'm sorry, wrong color. And as you say this, when you actually blow, it appears to be the wrong color. And you will get some giggles or something. And you can invite the spectators and you can ask them, can you blow? And as they blow, you just execute the move like we discussed earlier. And as they go, you're going to do this upward motion ever so slightly. Don't go overboard with it, you know? Just go natural. And as they blow, in 3, 2, 1. And the rest is going to be acting. You're going to say, how do you do that? I did it wrong, but how do you do it correctly? So it's essentially the same thing, but pretty much 2 turns of the middle. Like for example, here, oops, wrong color. Then you just solved it without them knowing. Here's the exposed view for the mix again, if you guys are actually confused. So remember, whichever face you want to do the revelation first, make sure you choose any color to your liking. And make sure it faces up the sky or ceiling. And remember, the basic one is U prime, D, R, and remember, we're using these two to do a U-turn, then R prime, then with these two blocks right here, U prime, then you use your ring finger to do a D move. And remember, here's a walkthrough. First revelation, you're going to use your ring finger. And remember, with this wrist action here, then you're going to do this fast, but I'm going to do this slow. You're going to try and make it line up and say that's the first revelation. You're then going to ditch the blue so that it lines up for the other ones. 2, 3. So this is what you're doing. 1, 2, 3. You're essentially moving it to where the two other pieces were. And then you can do the same thing as you did with the first revelation. And then here, using your middle finger. And that's the whole revelation. And that's my creation right there. What you learned so far were 2 solves. The basic handling, the visual handling. Now, here's the last one, the third solve. Now, this is a pattern switch solve. Here's what it looks like. So you see it. You see this? Solved. Stripes. Stripes again. And check this out. If I do this, and watch this. You're going to see that these are stripes. These are checkerboard patterns. But if we undo them, like this, these are stripes again. Stripe. Solve. Stripe. Here. Now, if we want this to be a checkerboard, see how it's slowly starting to look like a checkerboard? Because it is checkerboard. All around. But what happens if I want to undo it? What if I want to make it seem like it's a stripe? Well, it is. And slowly, watch. Here, we're still in stripes, right? Solved. And then that's it. That's the performance. So the explanation for this is really easy. The algorithms are really easy. Now, you're going to start here. And also for the second solve, when you're in this position, you want to come here and then slightly make a rotation. Or make a rotation and your spectator's eyes are looking here. And it's done with the middle finger. You probably know already. It's the middle finger flicking. Pretty much. So same grip as the second solve. So ring finger and thumb on the bottom left and thumb index on the top right. Here's the exposed view. So you want to clamp down on the second layer right here. Then just like this, you're going to show them and display it being solved. Then as you line it up, at the same time, use your middle finger and use this upward motion to show it visually go to stripes. So I'm clamping on those 2 blocks as I say solved. As you line it up, at the same time, you flick. When done right, it should look something like this, except in exposed. Solved, stripes, and from here, it looks really great. Then you line it up perfectly. Then you're going to do it again. Now, to do the checkerboard, you're going to do U2. If you're right-handed people, that's the algorithm. U2, then D2. For me, it's U prime twice. I mean, it is the same thing, and then D2 to convert it to this stripe, and this one forms a checkerboard. And then when you want to undo it, there's white pieces right here. You're gonna do the same algorithm. So get the 2 pieces in a solved state. And what I like to do is shaking motion to cover the action that these fingers are doing the turning. Now, let's get into the second portion, which is the entire checkerboard. So before we get into the full checkerboard, this is what it looks like on a side angle. So here, solved. Then as you line it up, automatically this upward motion covers the fact that you're flicking it upwards. And you're gonna do it again. And then is U prime. And with my ring finger, I'm doing a D2 and a U prime twice. So that sets it up from there and there. And then do this motion while you're doing these turns and here. So here, same grip, flick it once, then as you come to say solve again, you do this, go up, and this naturally will occur, and that's good because you're gonna say solve. Second time around, you're just going to do this. And to the spectator, it's really visual. It looks like CGI a little bit. So flick here, show them display, and also display as stripes, and say this is solved, but everything is. And basically, you're gonna do the same move. So you want to rotate the cube. You can do any way. U prime twice, D2. And then you're going to rotate the cube again and go U prime twice, or right-handed people with your right hand do U2 and D2. That usually places it. And if you don't see it right here, then you're just gonna do U prime, D. That sets this up for checkerboards. And then shaking motion, do the same move. And then now you converted this into stripes. And then here you can go again, and then say solved. Once you're here, you want this slanted at all times and have it solved. So let me show you the whole routine as well. Here it is. So another angle is this. So, and my middle finger is set to do the thing. You're gonna say solved, and then, this is the spectator's point of view, obviously. You're gonna say solved, as you line it up, go up, and I'll obviously do this. And the greatest thing about this is that your fingers and your forehand is blocking for the fact that you're flicking this. And this upward motion also blocks it too. So the bigger motion covers the smaller motion. So solved, here, your middle finger is going to flick it like this, and at the same time go up. So as you move it up, go up, and then back down. And then this is what I'm talking about. You flick it one more time so that the layer changes. And then when you shake, U prime twice for lefties, D2 for those, and then you can display this, and you're gonna do the same move, U prime twice, D2. And that actually places it to a full checkerboard. If you wanna go back to a solved state, or back to the stripes rather, you're just going to shake, rotate it twice, do the same algorithm, really. And then you're at the stripes, show it all around, and then U prime twice. And just like the Revelation, you can do this. You can do this, do this, do this, do this. And then you're going to continue up as your middle finger flicks it, and solved. Then as you align it, stripes, 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 solved. See, these mini upward motions covers the middle finger flicking, of course. So that's how you do the pattern switch solve. This is the third solve. Actually, the one that had variation number 2 is actually the first solve. So this is the second solve. It's really fun, and you could say, look everybody, okay. Stripes, you can go stripes, and then you say watch here. And obviously you're doing the same moves, except you're going to do this faster than me, but I'm just breaking it down for you so you get understanding. And look what I've done. Sometimes you can run in this situation. And I totally advise you know how to solve a Rubik's Cube if you mess up the scramble for the previous solve. But for this, you cannot solve it. You have to solve it manually. So let's go to the basic solve. I'm going in reverse. The visual handling, the pattern solve that I just taught you already. And yeah, let's get into the basic one, and I'll show you the whole routine. Now this solve is actually a back cover solve, and it's the same thing as Sam Huang's blur solve, except he does it like this, and then to the spectator's hand. I did it where you go from your back, and then you kind of do the same thing. But with this one, it's similar, but there's only 5 algorithms you need to know. And just like the previous one, is R. Remember, we're using these two for a U turn and U prime turn. U, R prime, then double U prime, then obviously D. And what you want to do is the same move. So you're going to do this and this. Now, you're in this situation, so what I like to do is take a pause right here, and when I'm taking a pause right here, that's when the misdirection actually happens. So I'd like to look at my spectator right at the eyes, and secretly you're ditching the white so that it sets you up for the last move. And while this is at their eyes, or in front of their face rather, you're going to tell them, it looks like it's almost solved, right? And it's actually fully solved. Don't flash this, don't flash this. I mean, you can flash it a little bit, but not too much by doing like this. But don't show this, this, or this. Only show a little bit of the top portion. Just about, I would say a little bit. Like about that much, just a little. Not too much, or else they'll know you're one move away. And also sorry for a background. Now, you're going to do the last move behind your back. Except this is going to be way too obvious. They're going to know you're one move away. So to prevent that from flashing, you're going to hold it like this. Like a cup. You're going to cover the color, and you're first going to say, it looks like it's almost solved. I'm going to solve it behind my back. And then as you say that, you're going to do the last move. And then you're going to tell them to extend their arm out, palm flat, up, pointing up to the sky. Then you're going to do this, and then it's solved on all sides. I'm going to take you to the other side angles once again. So this side angle. So R, double U turn, R prime, double U prime, and D. You show it. You do the first revelation move. Then as you do this, you can ditch it like that. Show the face to your audience. And you're going to cover it like this. It's kind of like the toss-up solve that Stephen Brundage does. But you're just going to display it as so that you're ready for the last move. And sorry for the background noise, once again. So you're going to say, it looks like it's almost solved. Like right here almost. And the other colors are mixed up. Let me try and do the last moves. And make sure your forehand and your fingers are closed, are blocking their view. Place it behind your back, and then all you gotta do is a U prime move, and then drop it to their hand. Or just place it on their hand. It's fine. If you do this one-handed, then this is gonna be a little bit difficult for you, but that is the basic handling on it. One more time before I go performance speed. R, double U, R prime, double U prime, D. So you can show the scramble quickly. Do the first revelation. And then do the second revelation, and I messed up. See, this is what you can run into if you mess up the scramble. So let's see that from another angle so you know which hands are moving, and yeah. All right, so here it is. R, U, R prime, double U prime, and D with the ring finger. Do the same move like we discussed for the visual handling. And like I said, ditch the piece that you did for your liking. Do the D move. That's actually D prime to get it right there. Show the face to the audience, and secretly behind your back, and once again, like a cup, cover it. Because if you show them this, it's not going to fool anyone. But if you actually did block it like this, it'll be convincing to the spectator. And they'll actually be non-skeptical. They'll believe you. And they'll believe that this is mixed enough to where you're just a few moves away. But in reality, you're just one move away. So even if I show it like this all around, then you know that I'm just one move away from it being solved. However, if I block it and show only a little bit of this portion right here, it'll be a little bit more convincing. And place it on your back and do the U prime move to solve the entire thing. And up to speed, it'll look like this. So here first, here, and also patter with them as you do these moves. You see, I'm only a few moves away, and let me actually do it behind my back. So you do the move and then place it right at the palm. Then they can inspect it and check its normal cube. So those are the solves that I came up with, and I'm happy to teach it to you. So there you go. Now here's the entire routine combined together.
So the first one is a basic handling one. You say, watch this. Crazy, right? I'm just a few moves away. Not one move, but maybe two, maybe three, maybe four. Let me actually do it behind my back. And could you actually extend your hand out, palm flat, and pointing up to the ceiling? Great. Now I can actually place it on your palm, and it's solved, right? I'll do it even more amazing. I'll do it more amazing for you, and I'll repeat it once again, but this time visually. That's the first one, and watch this. The white actually solved itself, and you see this, how it's striped? It's not really solved yet, but it's now solved. And I want you to watch carefully, because you see it's solved, right? Solved. Now it's on stripes. And I want you to watch this carefully. Now these are converted as stripes. Now these are converted as a checkerboard, as a checkboard format. And if we want the entire thing to be a checkerboard, we're just going to do this, and slowly you're seeing the moment it happens. Just like this. If we want to make it go back, we can. We surely can. And you're gonna see that these are now striped and these are still checkerboards. However, if we do it correctly, these can be converted back to stripes. And not once, but it's solved and stripes. Do it again, and it's not where it needs to be, but it's just a few moves away. Now that is the entire routine. Hope you enjoyed it. That's it. Keep on practicing, practicing, and practicing. Now, this routine can be done as a whole, or you can do just the pattern solve, pattern switch solve, where, like I told you, do this, where you actually turn the middle and do the upward motion at the same time. And it's so visual, spectators won't really catch a thing. However, if they're on your side angles, they'll see this middle finger flicking it, and that'll ruin the entire trick. So make sure all of the solves I've taught you, make sure your spectators are in front of you or a little bit like a U shape, surrounding you up front. You cannot do this surrounded, and this trick is really angle sensitive, so hope you enjoyed the routine that I compiled together for you. And I'm so happy I get to show this trick to everybody. So hope you learned something. Please, I do advise you do the entire routine, because there is an exception to can you do it again? And yes, you can do it again. However, when I did it, the visual handling, that's a different method. So the exception is you can do the trick twice or maybe more if it's a different method. And obviously this one, where it's a visual method, actually utilizes 2 more turns. So 7 total algorithms. And it's a really changed method. The only difference is that the visual handling has 2 turns, 2 extra ones, so that the last turn, you can show the spectator the visual. And you can also say for the third phase or whatever, you can choose any order you want. And you can say, watch this, solved, and then you can do the visuals from there. And those were the solves that I actually came up with. I would like to call this Hugh's solved, but I already called it Rubik's visual. So thank you, and have a good time. Credits to Sam Huang, by the way, for the inspiration. So, have a great one, guys. Peace!